At the end of Parshas Shemos, after Moshe, Aharon, and the Zakanim, the elders of Israel, went to Paro, the king of Egypt, and told him to send the nation of Israel out of Egypt, and Paro said they're lazy, and therefore he made them work even harder, then the Jewish policemen that were in charge of the Jewish workforce, they complained and they got angry at Moshe and Aharon. So Moshe came back and told Hashem, "Why do you send me?" And everything just got worse for the Jews after you sent me. So then, this week's Parshas Vaera, Hashem told Moshe, "I am Hashem, and you go to Bnei Israel and speak to them and tell them that I'm going to save you, and I'm going to take you out of Egypt and save you from their work, and I'll redeem you, and I'll take you to the land of Israel and all of that." So then Moshe came and said this to Bnei Israel, and they didn't listen to him because of hard work and hard labor. Now, what that means probably is not that they didn't believe him. They're just in a situation they couldn't even think ahead or anything like that. They didn't pay attention to it. It just went through their minds. They didn't process, basically. So then after that, Hashem told Moshe, and Vaydaber Hashem Moshe lemar, go and speak to Paro, the king of Egypt, and he shall send Bnei Israel out of Egypt. So Moshe said to Hashem, if Bnei Israel didn't listen to me, how is Paro going to listen to me? And I have closed lips. I don't speak well. So then, right afterwards, the Torah mentions the lineage of Moshe Rabbeinu and Aharon. Then afterwards, it seems like it repeats exactly the same thing. Hashem spoke to Moshe, saying, "I am Hashem, speak to Paro, the king of Egypt, everything that I say to you." And Moshe said before Hashem, "Behold, I am closed lips for Simon, and how will Paro listen to me?" So it seems like it's repetition, and it's a little bit. So it's a question, why did the Torah repeat this? So now I'm going to try explaining based off of the Ramban a little bit, and we'll have to go back to Parshas Shemos, basically where Moshe went to Har Sinai, to Chorev, where Hashem first spoke to him, and Hashem didn't tell him ever that he was going to speak himself to Paro. Hashem told him that he was going to speak to Bnei Israel, and then Moshe said about that he doesn't speak. Lo ish devarim anochi, I don't speak well. So Hashem said that Aaron will go with you. But when Hashem told him about going to Paro, the king of Egypt, he only told him about this one time, and this one time was him, Aaron, and the elders of Israel, the Zakanim, and he said it in plural. He said, "V'amartem," you all should tell Paro. He didn't say you should say to Paro. So Moshe assumed that this could mean that Aaron or the Zakanim should tell Paro, and therefore he wasn't worried about that at all, and therefore he didn't complain about that. So Hashem assigned Aaron to speak that Moshe will speak to Aaron, and Aaron will speak to the Bnei Israel for him, but they didn't say that about Paro, the king. He didn't assign Aaron to be his interpreter, not his interpreter, his spokesman to Paro. So this week's parsha, after Hashem tells Moshe himself to speak to Bnei Israel, for some reason Hashem wanted Moshe himself to speak over here, and Bnei Israel didn't listen to Moshe. So then Moshe complained and said, how's Paro going to listen to me? So then Hashem said, so Hashem said, Hashem spoke to Moshe and Aharon. He spoke to both of them. He prophesied to both of them, and he commanded them to Bnei Israel and to Paro, the king of Egypt. So then Moshe assumed Hashem is speaking to Aaron and Moshe. That means that both of them are going to get the prophecies, and both of them will go everywhere and speak. And therefore, also Moshe didn't have to worry, because Aaron could do the speaking. It doesn't matter. It's just that both of them have to go, which that was okay with Moshe. But then because of Moshe's, so Hashem decided to clarify this afterwards, and therefore Hashem said, "Vaydaber Hashem Moshe, Ani Hashem, I am Hashem. Speak to Paro everything that I say. Say to Paro everything that I say to you," meaning that you should be the one that speaks to Paro, not literally speaking, but I'm only going to speak to you. You're going to be the prophet over here. I'm not sending two messengers. You're the messenger. So Moshe again complained, but I have closed lips. I can't speak well. So therefore, So how will Paro listen to me? So therefore Hashem said, Re'ena saticha, behold, I made you a god to Paro, meaning like Hashem speaks to his prophet, and the prophet speaks to whoever Hashem wants him to convey a message. So too, you're going to be the one that you're going to be the one that gives the message, but not the one that conveys it to the other person. And Aaron is going to be like your Navi. He's going to be the one that speaks for you to Paro. And therefore it comes out, at the end of the day, that Aaron basically will, all the time, Moshe is going to be the only one that does that gets nevuah, gets prophecy from Hashem. He's the only messenger. But who's going to be his speaker, his spokesman? Aaron's going to be his spokesman. He's going to say everything to Paro and to Bnei Yisrael. Now, it is interesting. I was just thinking right now, which is something to think about a little bit. At the end, when Moshe, at the last Makkah, at Makkah's Choshech, at the plague of darkness, where basically Moshe, right after the plague of darkness, when Moshe was warning Paro about the firstborn dying, then Paro told him not to see his face. So then Moshe told him, I'm not going to see your face. You're all going to come and bow down before me and all of that. And Moshe went out in anger. So I wonder if over there is an exception to the rule and Moshe himself spoke to Aaron. That's a good question. And also it's interesting to see, is this the case all the time? Even after the Jewish nation went out of Egypt, did Moshe continue speaking through Aaron? Meaning, did Aaron speak to Bnei Israel and Moshe just convey the message to Aaron? Or did it change after that? Now, the Ibn Ezra says that all of Moshe's life, Aaron spoke for Moshe. And he says even after Aaron died, because Aaron died before Moshe, Aaron's son, who became the high priest, the Kohen Gadol after him, spoke for Moshe. Elazar, Aaron's son, spoke for Moshe instead.